Welcome to this week's installment of the 2-Minute Drill. As always, Nichols football head coach Dale Olmsted is with us. Dale, you guys took on MIT this weekend. It's a completely different team than the one that won the conference championship last year. Just talk about the contest and just kind of how the fourth quarter unfolded.
Yeah, I mean, MIT is, they're banged up. They have a lot of younger kids filling in for some of their upperclassmen that are hurt, but we all know that all too well as well. So we knew it would be a good game. It was senior night for MIT. We had to push the game back from the original start of 1. They had a lot going on over there. I really wasn't sure how we would handle everything. You're going into the city. Our buses have to, you have to 3-minute walk to the locker room. So I really wasn't sure how we were going to come out. And, to my surprise, we were ready to go from the get-go. I thought it was the best half of football we've played all season. We were able to take a 8-7 lead into the halftime. We came out, we couldn't score in the red zone. A touchdown, but we elected to go for a field goal. We kicked that. Connor Hayes did a great job there. And going up 11-7 in the fourth quarter, I turned to my offensive coordinator, Coach Kaiser, and said, "Hey, listen, this is the longest 15 minutes of my career so far left in the game." And, unfortunately, that happened to be the case. They're a good football team. They have a great running back. They get good coaches. They worked really hard. They stuck to it, to their credit. I thought we had them on the ropes. We had them on the ropes all game. But they found it in them. They had a couple big plays in the fourth quarter that were able to capitalize on some mistakes. And, there you have it. It's really tough. Kids played hard, and coached really well that game. And, we just, I told them after the game, things will get better. Things are never as bad as they seem, nor are they as good as they seem at times. And you have to just take it day by day, and, we'll be ready for Maine this week.
We've talked about it during the season about preaching patience, and we can't rush the process. But at the same time, we've sat here, and a couple times we probably had a similar discussion. You hate to say the phrase, this is a learning experience. The team needs to go through this to learn how to win. But talk about how you keep that message strong and don't let it fall on deaf ears with these kids.
Well, I think it's not, because we are competing each and every game. They've had opportunities to give up throughout the season because they want to win, the coaches want to win. But we have to find the positives. As I said, it was a hard game because we let one get away, I feel. The coaches feel like, and the players as well. But we are getting better. We've closed the gap. We knew we would. We just haven't closed it tight enough, which is why we're very excited about the new facilities here. As we talk about bringing the kids in, but also the guys that we have on the team. Retention is a huge part of this program, and for these guys to see what's out there now that they've gone through a couple seasons with me in our program, what's expected. I think a couple nice off season in the weight room, the brand new weight room is really going to pay dividends for us next year. And again, it's credit to them because they could have quit, they don't. So again, great job, and one more game, and we're very excited about hosting our final game of the season versus Maine.
Sure. One more question before we go on to talk about Maine. It's going to be your senior day, and talk about this senior class. You've had them for 2 years, almost 3 if you think about it. Just talk about what they've meant to the program and just going forward, how they're going to leave their mark.
Sure, I think taking over a program, any coach, there's that, the guys that are there, what are they going to do? Right. We had a lot of guys that left. So for these seniors, and there's 10 of them, and probably maybe only a quarter of them really see the field very often. And
sure.
For those guys to stay with me and with us and with their teammates speaks really volumes about their character. Great group of guys. There's 10 of them. They'll certainly be missed. We have our banquet next in probably about 2 weeks. I look forward to honoring them during the banquet. This Friday, we'll go. I'll take all the seniors out to a local restaurant for lunch, just to kind of have one more meal amongst myself with just the seniors, just to show them how much I appreciate them sticking with it, because it's tough. They're looking at the young guys go out and compete, and what's in it for them.
Right.
They get to graduate and be part of this program and not have quit. And, I truly believe that they'll be able to look back on this experience a few years from now and see what type of program we're running here and knowing that they were a part of it. So just because you don't necessarily see them on the game day, someone that comes to mind, Connor Richard. Connor had a lot of playing time early on in his career. This year, watching him at practice, fly around, he does a fantastic job. Hummel started the season. Now we have a sophomore quarterback in McCourt, and Rickerson. Watch Grant, but he's really starting to come into his own and really did a nice job. And a couple senior linemen up front, Zaharios and Jake, have done a great job. Connor Hayes, the kicker, came in from Daniel Webster as a soccer player and, is stuck with it. So he's done a great job. Cantz, a returning, All-American fullback. has picked up where he left off. Chris Williams, I blame everything on him because he got hurt in the very first play and kind of set the tone. No, but Chris has been great. He didn't have an opportunity to play for me last year. The coaching staff, the team was really looking forward to him playing and seeing what he could do at cornerback. He went down the very first play versus Westfield, but in the end, it allowed us to get more younger guys on the field.
Sure.
So for the program itself, maybe it allowed, as I said, allowed other guys to get an opportunity.
Right.
So in the end, I think the program will be better, but certainly he was missed.
Sure. Lastly, this is a Maine Maritime team that in the last couple of years they played very high-scoring games with you. Up there 2 years ago, I think it was in the 60s. Last year, I think both teams were in the 30s. It was a high-scoring game. I don't know if it's changed a lot, but just your expectations for the game. What do you think will happen?
Well, first of all, I just don't know if I mentioned Billy O'Keefe yet, but there's another young
Sure.
man who's who's did a lot for us at outside linebacker and has done a great job on special teams. But
There's a lot of kids. You get to forget.
There are. I know. Sorry, I'm probably forgetting somebody else, but. It's been a shootout for sure the last couple of years. Maine, I don't know if it's better to play them at the end of the season or in the beginning, because by now really they can run their offense blindfolded. They're a very disciplined team. They're not going to be the biggest team you're going to see, but they're a lot like Coast Guard. They're going to do what they do and they're going to do it well. So if you can catch them early enough, maybe they're not quite as in sync. You get them at the end of the year. Hopefully they're a little bit banged up. I know the quarterback, Fay, he does a great job running and throwing. They're very explosive. They kind of jam you in the box and then try to pop the big play. And they've been able to do it against us, the last few years, as you mentioned. But I think having the staff, seen them last year, going off last year's film and watching them this year, I don't anticipate it being a 50-60 type game. But who knows? You never know.
Yeah. Fans, the game begins at 12 o'clock at Vendetti Field this Saturday. If you can't make it out, live stats and video, as always, on NicholsAthletics.com. Thanks, Coach Olmsted. We'll talk next week.
Thank you.